to the VIP.
Yeah, the IP, VIP.
Don't wait, cause tonight's on me.
It's on me, baby, all on me, yeah.
Sexy models, champagne bottles.
Yeah, the IP, VIP.
Got 2 models, need more bottles.
Bottle when I'm out, got a bottle. There's only one side.
Be Taylor.
Yeah, the IP, VIP. It's on me, baby, all on me, yeah.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Xander Effect. I'm your host, Xander Dames. Got a lot of really cool stuff to chat about with you guys, including in entertainment news. Family Guy star Mike Henry exits the role as the voice of Cleveland Brown on Family Guy. We'll talk a little bit about that. In sports, the NBA says there are 16 players that have tested positive for COVID-19. So we'll talk a little bit about that. In video game news, Square Enix will announce several new games coming in July and August after a shareholders meeting. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Plus, got an awesome guest on the show today. Rising country music star Cambree Lovesy is going to be on the show. She'll chat with us a little bit about how she got started in the music industry, plus her latest single, Runaway Queen. But first, here is Safura's High on Your Love, right here on the Xander Effect.
Been floating around like the king of the sky. I put all the shit to the back of my mind. Just like a dose of perspective to silence the noise. You're turning me up like I'm one of the boys. No, I can't stop, cause it feels so good. No, I can't stop, like I know I should. Going non-stop, till I'm understood. You got me so hooked. I'm high on your love. I'm high on your love. We started off slow, now we're doing it right. My head's on a roll every day, every night. The way my body reacts when you're giving me feels, yeah. I can't get enough, I'm just keeping it real. No, I can't stop, cause it feels so good. No, I can't stop, like I know I should. Going non-stop, till I'm understood. You got me so hooked. Cause baby, I'm high on your love. 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 I'm so high, I'm so high. I'm so high, high. I'm so high, I'm so high. I'm so high. No, I can't stop, cause it feels so good. No, I can't stop, like I know I should. Going non-stop, till I'm understood. You got me so, cause baby, I'm high. What up? This is AB.
Hey guys, this is Sean Kanan.
What's going on? It's Amanda Holly.
Hey, Jeremy Miller from Growing Pains here.
This is Max and Model Riley Sawyer.
And you're listening to the
Xander Effect.
It's a millionaire.
Wait no more. I'll take your Roll up a ting, get high with me, baby.
Roll up a ting, tell me what you need. I don't even know, but I know I got a headache, girl. Where you going with your badass? Think you got a fat ass, you should let me grab it, girl. You make it hard to get my hands to myself. Is that your man or he just somebody else? Somebody help me. Shorty, I can get your body on my ass. I just wanna get your body in my bed. Pull up on you, hop your body in the bed. Ready, let's go. Let's roll. Girl, you know I got that fire, spark that lighter up the smoke. I see the way you looking on your lips, I know you wanna take a hit of this. We got plenty of Henny and marijuana. Taking the panties off, you ready to put it on. And she taking off her clothes. Baby, just run her while she whining on me slow. Bobby, run her while we slow.
Wait no more. I'll take your love if you want me to.
Me too.
I can't wait no more. I'll take your love if you want me to.
Me too.
Roll up a ting, get high with me, baby, 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 baby.
Roll up a ting, tell me what you want.
Roll up a ting, get high with me, baby, baby, baby.
Roll up a ting, tell me what you need.
Damn, roll out, hold out. Yeah, turn around too, cause that ass swell out. You know I had to show love, cause when you make it bounce, that body get 20 ounce of that Coca-Cola. Shake it up, then I watch it bubble like soda. You know it's over when I introduce you to the Cobra. Legs on my shoulders, body smoking like sour D's. So baby girl, my guess is you a ill roller. I bet it's so good, this shit'll put me in a coma. I'm a killer, you bout to catch it like this shit Corona. Baby, you a stoner, I got a lot of by your friends. And when you done, shorty, hang the phone up. Damn, shorty, take a pic, rich nigga shit. Hit a lick, spin it quick, give you back shots like I'm ignorant. Slide up inside you. You ain't believe me that I saw you like Riley. Call me a Illijah.
Can't wait no more. I'll take your love if you want me to.
Me too.
I can't wait no more. I'll take your love if you want me to.
Me too.
Roll up a ting, get high with me, baby, 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 baby.
Roll up a ting, tell me what you want.
Roll up a ting, get high with me, baby, baby, baby.
Roll up a ting, tell me what you need.
That was Riley Sawyer's Roll Up right here on the Xander Effect. In entertainment news, looks like Mike Henry, the one that portrayed the voice of Cleveland Brown on Family Guy, is following the same path that Jenny Slate has done when she decided to step down as the biracial character Missy on the Netflix animated show Big Mouth. Looks like Mike Henry has decided to do the exact same thing. He went on Twitter on Friday and he said, quote, "It's been an honor to play Cleveland on Family Guy for 20 years. I love this character, but persons of color should play characters of color. Therefore, I will be stepping down from the role." Henry's been on the Family Guy since the first season began back in 1999, and you know he also portrayed the voices of Consuela, Latina maid on the long-running animated series, along with a lot of other minor characters. So he's stepping down from that voice, but not from the show itself. I'm sure he will still continue to do these types of voices on the show. And like Jenny's not the first person to have stepped down from doing a character's voice that's not of their same race. Back in January, Hank Azaria, he also he's on The Simpsons. He does many voices on The Simpsons, including the Indian character Apu. And he basically said for the longest time that he had a problem, doing the voice for a long time until finally he decided to just step down from that voice as well. So it seems that it's starting to become a trend now that many of these voiceover actors are starting to actually want to step down from their roles for obvious reasons. They feel that it's not right for them to portray a different race of a character when it doesn't, it doesn't mirror who they are. So, I mean, for them to go ahead and do that is actually a really good thing because it gives room for other talented, voiceover actors that are of that same race that can actually portray the voice very well. So, that's awesome. Let's see if the trend continues on and, we start hearing other voiceover actors or other actors also give up roles that don't agree with who they are or what culture, what race they are. So we'll see what happens with that, but it's good to see that Hollywood actors are starting to actually respect the culture of others. Not that they hadn't before, but they're starting to actually show more of that, more solidarity, more unity. So not solidarity, excuse me, more unity with people of different races. So that's really good on that. In other entertainment news, John Wayne Airport is moving to rename because of what John Wayne had said in an interview in Playboy magazine back in 1971. Now, I talked about this last year. Like, I had an episode specifically about what John Wayne had said in that interview, and it's insane. I mean, I actually liked the Duke. I thought he was an incredible actor. My mom liked the Duke. My dad liked the Duke. I mean, we all liked him, but I never knew about this. And when I heard about this, I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked at how racist he actually was with the words he was saying in that interview. He went ahead to say things like, quote, "I believe in white supremacy until the blacks are educated to a point of responsibility. I don't believe in giving authority and positions of leadership and judgment to irresponsible people." But he didn't stop there. He went ahead and continued on by saying, quote, "I don't feel guilty about the fact that 5 or 10 generations ago these people were slaves." I mean, this is mind-blowing, the stuff that was coming out of his mouth, that was spewing out of his mouth. Here's a guy that did a movie called Hatari that took place in Africa. I mean, it's just so mind-blowing to hear what he had to say. I was like in shock. And then he didn't stop there. He went ahead and started actually poking at Native Americans by saying, quote, "I don't feel we did wrong in taking this great country away from them. There were great numbers of people who needed new land, and the Indians were selfishly trying to keep it for themselves." Like, wow. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, this man is just, not only should his name be removed from the John Wayne Airport, his Hollywood Walk of Fame star should be removed as well. Racism has no place in the entertainment industry at all, and they need to go ahead and not just remove that, but also remove his star. He is undeserving of that honor because of the racist things that he said and the way he felt, because not only did he say these things, he felt them. He believed in them. I mean, by the way he was talking. So yeah, just very disappointing. Glad that Orange County is taking measures on removing his name from the airport. Hopefully Hollywood will take measures on removing his star from the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In other entertainment news, Margot Robbie is set to star in the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Yes, you heard right. There's another Pirates of the Caribbean movie coming out, and Margot Robbie is in it. It's basically a female-led project, according to The Hollywood Reporter, and it is, quote, "not intended to be a spin-off of the long-running franchise that had Pirate Jack Sparrow at its center, but rather a wholly original story with new characters under the Pirates moniker." So, and Margot Robbie is set to lead that, and so far it's being written by Birds of Prey screenwriter Christina Hodson. So she's on there, on board with the script. And I mean, it's going to be separate from as many people know, there has been a report of a new Pirates reboot that still remains in the works. And this one's written by Ted Elliott. and Chernobyl creator Craig Madsen. So there's a separate movie from this one as well, but they're both separate from each other. They're not going to cross over or anything like that. Jerry Bruckheimer will go ahead and produce both projects, so that's going to be pretty interesting right there. What really blows my mind is that it's like another Pirates movie. Wow, it's crazy, but it makes sense though, because all the Pirates movies, they've grossed over $4 billion at the worldwide box office. So yeah, no kidding, they're going to go ahead and create another one. Looks like it's been a success, and it has been a success. I actually enjoyed watching the movies myself. On top of this movie, Robbie is actually set to reprise her role as Harley Quinn in next year's The Suicide Squad that's directed by James Gunn. So that's what's going on. Christina Hodson is also writing Flash and the Batgirl movies, and she's got her hands full as well. So it should be a pretty interesting next couple of years with movies coming out from all parts, all walks of the entertainment industry. In other entertainment news, I had the opportunity to chat with a rising country superstar, Cambree Lovesy, and she chatted with me a little bit about how she got into the music industry and her new song, Runaway Queen. So on the Xander Effect, I have country music artist, Cambree Lovesy. Hi, Cambree, how you doing today?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
It's a hot day right here in Southern California, but otherwise good.
That's awesome. I'm jealous. I am just outside of Vancouver, Canada right now, and it is rainy.
Is it still springtime over there? Because we officially hit summer.
Yeah, well, you really don't know. It'll be like the middle of August and it'll start snowing or something. Like nice. It's all over the place, but we're going towards summer. Nice.
Now, you're inching towards summer, but Mother Nature's like, not so much.
Exactly. She's a little hesitant.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I feel a little shy right now with the quarantine and everything. I don't look good. I don't think I want to do summer yet.
Yeah, she's like, I need to do my makeup first.
Exactly. Maybe drop a couple, I mean, I'm not beach body ready, Yeah, I get that.
I feel that.
Right on. So talk to me about, basically you just put out a single, Runaway Queen, which is an amazing song, by the way. We're going to be listening to it, right after the interview. And let me tell you, it's such a, like, I love country music. Country music is fantastic. And, your song is just really like the type of music that you dance to, that you're like, wow, I'm ready to rock with this,
Yeah.
But before we get into that single, did you always want to be a country music artist, or is this something that kind of just fell in your lap? Or, how did this all begin?
Yeah, so I grew up very musical. I picked up piano first. That was my kind of first introduction to the music world. I begged my parents after doing music class in school. I was like, I really want to try piano. And they were like, we don't know if it's just another phase. And so I begged them to get me a piano, and I got a Costco keyboard for my room, and I started piano lessons. And soon after that, I picked up guitar, and I started to write my own music when I was 11. And, and all of a sudden, I knew that that's what I wanted to do and I needed to do. And I started performing on local stages when I was 10, 11 years old. So it's been about 10 years of playing locally and stuff. And mid-teenage years, I started to really take this more seriously as a career. And as for the country part of things, country music was what I grew up on. My mom would always put the CMT channel on for me as a baby. I would just sit there and watch that when I was a little kid, because didn't have any bad commercials or anything. So she's like, hey, that's harmless.
The good old wholesome country music television.
Yeah, right. And so, yeah, and my family's all country music fans. My grandpa introduced me to artists like Willie Nelson, Patsy Cline, Dolly Parton growing up. So instantly fell in love with country music. And it's where I found that my niche is and where my songwriting really fits in. And yeah, I kind of found my home within the country music community.
Nice. So basically, from a young age, you always wanted to be a singer. You didn't want to do anything else, and so you you basically, it wasn't, I think after you started like learning how to play the piano and the guitar, I think your parents were like, maybe it's not so much a phase anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my parents, I'm very loud and I'm very, I'm always singing. And so they always say like they know something's wrong with me if I'm not like humming something or singing something. So our house was very musical and loud growing up, which I love. I wouldn't want it any other way.
Nice. And were your parents musically inclined as well, or is this something that just naturally happened on your own?
They actually aren't musical people at all. My family kind of likes to argue about where the musicality came from, because nobody on either side of the family, extended family or anything, is really musically inclined. We have some artists on my mom's side of the family, so that may have been an influence, but me and my sister can both sing and play instruments and stuff, and nobody else is really inclined in that way. So
your parents were like, yeah, you were dropped off on our doorstep by aliens. We don't know what planet you come from because we don't get it. We don't have anything of that. So
right.
You come from the musical planet.
Yes, exactly.
Nice. So, I mean, you've been focused only on music. Your first debut album was Kiss My Boots.
Yes.
I mean, how was that like? How was doing that album?
That was so incredible. It was such an amazing opportunity to be able to release a full-length album. Before that, I had put out an EP, and I was really feeling like I was, you know, it was my first project out of high school. I was hitting a more mature sound, and I really wanted to put out an album that reflected that. And so it was an incredible experience getting to record music that I've written. I've always had a hand in writing my own stuff. And so Kiss My Boots was an introduction to, you know, putting my own stuff out into the world. And yeah, I had some incredible musicians and producers on the album, and it's really been a great, you know, I've got a lot of love towards it. So I'm really thankful for the reception towards Kiss My Boots.
No, that's really cool. And I mean, you mentioned, you know, that you wrote this right after high school. I mean, did you write about your high school experience, or I mean, did you have a bad high school experience? How was your experience like? And, you know, I mean, how much did that influence Kiss My Boots?
Yeah, I think a huge amount. I personally, like, I use songwriting as a way to cope with and create meaning towards the things that happen in my life. So growing up in high school, at least, as somebody who is pursuing a music career full-time outside of school, I was a little bit different from my peers, because I was doing something outside of it and, you know, doing two things at the same time. So I wrote about, you know, experiences that happened to me in high school, but also my mental health journey through all that as well. I've always, you know, dealt with anxiety, and I write about things like that, and I use writing to cope with that as well. So I think no matter what I go through in life, there's always going to be a song that comes out of a time in my life that either teaches me something or, you know, was a monumental moment. And high school was definitely one of those for me, where I was finding myself and finding my place, and writing about it along the way.
Nice. Well, I mean, you mentioned anxiety. I mean, it's kind of an interesting, career path that you chose, because, I mean, the music industry, well, just any part of the entertainment industry has a lot of anxious moments in it. I mean,
it does. Yeah.
You know, I mean, how do you cope with that type of issue?
Yeah. So for me, like, a lot of people will say to me like, oh, you don't seem like the type of person to have anxiety, because I'm very extroverted. I'm very out there.
You extrovert, get out of here. I'm not getting that at all from this interview. Let me tell you that right now.
Well, yeah. And people would say that to me, and, you know, I found my comfort zone and my, you know, my safe space is the stage, and it's being in front of people and interacting with people and talking with people. And that's how I deal with anxiety. That's my coping mechanism. And so for me, it's a little bit opposite. And that's why I found the music industry actually such a safe space for me. And it's something that, yeah, that didn't really induce anxiety, but was there to cope with it. So Yeah, I know that may sound a little weird, but it definitely has its anxious moments. I mean, as any industry does, and as anybody who's kind of running their own business and promoting themselves, you know, there's always going to be ups and downs through that. But when you know it's what you're meant to do, that's the motivation to keep going with it.
Yeah, I suppose I could see that. I mean, you know, I mean, it's weird because it's like what's supposed to give you anxiety gives you the opposite effect.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And I would think performing in front of like crowds, because you performed at different places in front of people, so I would think that the anxiety would heighten that. But I mean, what you're telling me is that it doesn't, and it's actually the opposite effect. It calms you down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the place where I feel like I'm making a difference in the world. I'm sharing what I'm meant to do. I'm sharing my passion. And for me, that's my safe space.
Nice. So let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit to your single right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, you know, you like I said, you know, you have the single Runaway Queen. I mean, talk to me a little bit about, you know, the inspiration to write that song.
Yeah, so I actually didn't write the song. It was written by the amazing Sean Gassaway and Pam Shane. Pam Shane wrote Genie in a Bottle for Christina Aguilera. She's so talented. And Sean Gassaway was also the producer on the song, and amazing creative mastermind as well. So they presented me with this song, and I instantly fell in love with it. I mean, I was looking to kind of follow up Kiss My Boots with something that was, you know, along the same lines of empowering people. Kiss My Boots is very sassy. It's very independent. It's got that strong female country vibe to it. And I wanted to keep going on that path because those are artists that I've always looked up to. People like Shania Twain, people like Dolly Parton, who represent strong females in this industry. So when I heard the song, I instantly fell in love with it, and I got the opportunity to go to Nashville for the first time, which is so exciting. And
that's country music. That's country music capital of the world, right there.
It is, yeah, and going there was absolutely surreal because I was like, for the first time, I felt like I was like surrounded by all the people that were, you know, into the same stuff as me, and just my people were there, and I never wanted to leave. So I'm definitely going back soon as the borders open back up again.
Yeah, no, it's the Mecca. It's the Mecca.
It totally is.
So no, I totally understand that, and you know, it's one of those things that if you weren't already comfortable, right there is like, oh, I'm home.
Exactly. Yeah, totally. And, you know, walking the streets and walking down Music Row and looking and seeing all the major labels, you know, places I've, you know, heard about in movies and places where I've seen, you know, some of my favorite artists spend time. It was like a dream. And the city has so much history to it too. So yeah, it was an amazing trip. I was only there for a few days. I did some performing down there, recorded the song, and then I was back to school here.
You're like, wah, wah.
I know, but I have plans to go back soon. So yeah, I'm excited.
No, that's really cool. Did you try any barbecue when you were out there?
No, I didn't. The place I wanted to go to.
You broke my heart with that.
I know.
How do you go to Nashville and not try the barbecue? That's what they're like. Besides, it's like country music, they're famous for that, but they're also famous for their barbecue. That goes hand in hand right there.
I know. And like the really good places that I heard about and that locals told me about was like lined up for like hours and everything. And I was like, I have to be at this place and then this place. And so it was like grab food and go. So next time, hopefully I get a chance to enjoy some more cuisine.
You should have just hit up Grubhub and been like, all right, I want like a slab of ribs, right? I want some cornbread. I want some freaking chicken. You know, bring it here to me now.
I just show up to the studio with like a mountain of food.
Yeah, with the bib and everything. You're like, all right, I'm about to eat, and no one bother me. Okay, I heard about Nashville's barbecue. Leave me alone.
I'm like trying to sing the song with like ribs.
Right? Like freaking, you have the barbecue sauce all over your mouth and everything, all over your fingers. You're like, can I grab the mic like this? I mean, you know, let me go ahead and take care of this. Let's call the next song Barbecue Love. How about that?
Some authentic country stuff right there.
But I mean, next time you go, you gotta try the barbecue. That's for darn sure. You gotta go ahead and try that. So I mean, you know, with all this stuff that's going on in the quarantine and everything, have you been keeping yourself busy? Have you been writing more music?
Yes, absolutely. I almost feel like my schedule is just as busy as before quarantine. It's
Ah,
just because things have I found ways to adapt what I was doing before to an online setting. So I'm doing every couple of weeks. I'm doing live stream concerts. I'm writing a ton. I'm obviously doing the promotion behind this single. Getting ready to record some new stuff as well, lining that up. I go to school full time, so doing courses as well. So I feel like, yeah, it's been just as busy.
nice. So what are you studying in school right now? I mean, is it something that, do you feel that, regardless of what's going on right now in your career, that education is also as important, or is it something that, maybe your parents are like, all right, have this as a backup type of thing?
Yeah, for me, education is so important. I want to be a lifelong learner. That's always been a giant passion of mine. And
Mhm.
um, even though I've been focused on music, I've still put school as a priority as well. And so I decided to get a degree that will help me within my music career. So I'm studying media and communications in
Ah,
school, and yeah, so learning more tips to be able to run my own business and help myself in the business side of my music career as well, because that's a whole other learning curve that I really started to step into when I started, mainly when I graduated high school and really started to take this seriously. And yeah, so I decided, I wanted to continue learning. And my university experience has been amazing because the university I go to, the University of the Fraser Valley, has been so supportive of my music as well. They also, I perform in our school lounge
oh wow,
weekly,
that's cool.
and there, yeah, I've had professors that have helped me, figure out my schoolwork when I need to go to Nashville or when I need to go play a show. They're like, hey, let's find another day you can do this assignment.
That's
And
cool. They've been really
so
supportive.
yeah, it's been amazing. I'm so glad I decided to continue my education as well.
No, that's really awesome. I'm glad that professors are seeing the value in your music, and also at the same time still continue to support you in your education. So that's really good.
Totally.
And communications, actually, it's funny because that was actually my major in college.
Oh,
Yeah.
there
Well,
you go.
that's what I got my degree in, journalism and mass communication. So I got my degree in that.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah,
So
I
we're in
know.
the same field.
Exactly. We're practically in the same field. Yeah, exactly. So, you never know. You might end up with a radio show or a podcast just like mine. So who
Hey,
knows?
that's awesome.
I mean, you
That's
got
so
the
cool.
personality for it, that's for sure.
Oh,
So
thank you.
no, but I mean, that's going back to what you were talking about in regards to, like, performing online and stuff like that. How has that been compared to performing in front of a live audience?
Um, it has, I didn't really know what to expect going into it, and I love performing live. It's one of my favorite things ever, and I didn't know if that would completely be replicable online, and it somehow is, because I'm getting that like constant feedback when I'm doing live streams and stuff, which is something you don't really get at live shows. You're on a stage or whatever, you don't get to really talk with people between songs. I mean, you do get to in a way, but you don't get to connect with each individual the way that live streams have kind of presented me with. So I take requests all night and, bring a glass of wine. And it's been really cool getting to do concerts from my living room. I found a real like sense of intimacy with the concerts that I don't really get with live shows. So it's been really cool. And I've also got to partner with a lot of organizations, doing live streams on their accounts, different radio stations. I've done some live streams in the UK,
Wow.
which is really cool because it's connecting the world. I think we're all a little bit more connected during this pandemic than we were before, which is really ironic but cool.
Right. And it's all, and I mean, a lot of people, they say technology is kind of destroying society, but in this case, I think technology brought us closer together.
Oh,
Y-
totally, totally.
I mean, could you have imagined a few years ago without the internet, doing any? Well, I mean, this is before, the internet was around, like probably like right around the time that you were born. So, but I mean, it's, I was in that era, and it's like it's crazy how much times have changed, and to be
Yeah.
honest, it's it is a difference maker when it comes to, like, when it comes to actually connecting with other people from around the world. I mean, I've had interviews on my show. I've had interviews on my show from people that live in Taiwan, people that live in Berlin. You know, I've had interviews like that on the Xander Effect. I had an interview with DJ Mikasi, who's out in Berlin. So you know, it's really cool to be able to like connect with people on this type of a level. And be able to chat with them. So I feel you on that. I mean, and you know, with all this that's going on, I mean, have you ever? I know that you're fairly new in the industry, but you're like making success and strides right now. I mean, are you thinking about making any type of collaboration with any other artists, or are there any other artists that you would love to do a collaboration with?
Oh my goodness, yes. Yeah, definitely. I think there's so much value in collaboration. So I have some stuff in the works right now, which hopefully I'll be able to share soon.
I thought you were going to share with me right now.
No.
Something on. That's fine. You got my hopes up, and then you just went ahead and took my legs from under me right there.
I'm so sorry. I'm the worst person.
I was almost at that cookie jar. Like I'm reaching for that cookie jar. I'm about to get the cookie, and all of a sudden, Mom walks in. Like, oh, come on. One cookie.
But you'll be the first to know, I promise you.
Awesome. I'll hold you to that. See, now it's already like right here recorded. So
okay.
you just messed that up. You just made it's a contractual promise. You can't go back on it.
There we go. I'm okay with that.
All right, cool. Yeah. No, that's really cool though that you're like still. I mean, regardless of the stuff that you have going on, you're still continue on with collaborations with other artists. So that's actually really cool. I mean, but out of curiosity, I mean, just give me a little hint here. Is it the same genre, or is it a different genre that's doing a collaboration with you? Because you know how country music right now is being, you know, mixed in with hip hop and pop and everything. I mean, is it something like that, or is it all country?
Right now it's all country, but I have had people, I've been in talks with some like rap artists and stuff as well. And we've talked about potentially doing some collabs. So nothing's like concrete in that area, but I definitely love to experiment with like crossing into other genres. Cause I grew up, like being influenced by lots of different genres. Like, personally, like I think the rock genre has really influenced Runaway Queen. A lot of people have told me.
Yeah.
I love the rock vibes in it.
Yep, I can hear that.
Yeah, and that a lot of that came from I play with a band here as well that I have my regular band members that, you know, join me for live shows, and they've all come from either classic rock or heavy rock backgrounds. So a lot of my live shows are very energetic and spirited in that way. So I'd love to cross more into, you know, mixing country with some other genres as well, because I love innovative country music, and I think there needs to be more room for innovation in this genre, and I'd love to experiment with some of that stuff.
No, and there definitely have been a lot of successful songs that have a lot of mixtures in it,
Totally.
and which is about time. I think it's about time, because country music was so segregated, you know, all on its own. Like it had its own little world, its own little fan base and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, come and join us. Come and join the rest of us. It's okay. We're not gonna bite you. Okay. It's okay. You know, it's like the other genres are like, dude, it's okay. Come on. It's all right. Come on. It's fine. You know, we don't bite. You know, we're just going to do something really awesome. How about that?
Exactly.
That's how it's going to be really awesome. No,
exactly.
But I mean, it's about time that happened, though. I mean, because I'll be honest, like, I love all genres. I love rock, hip hop, you know, R&B, pop, you know, some classical, even though it makes me fall asleep, jazz. You know, and
Totally.
country, you know, when it comes to country, like I love, you know, one of my favorite artists is Garth Brooks. He's
Yeah.
all-time favorite forever. You know, the guy, like I've been listening to him since I was a kid, you know, listening to Thunder Road is one of my favorite songs. I mean, country music is just the type of music that it's not just a song that's just a song. It's a song that's personal. It's something that
Totally.
You know, I mean, the way Garth Brooks sings "Country Road" or "Thunder Road" he describes the road. He describes an inanimate object. It's just a road.
Yeah.
But the way he makes it sound like it's alive. Like it has a heartbeat. It has something in it. And a lot of country music is like that. And
Totally.
you know, imagine if you could go ahead and cross over that type of, you know, music into into hip hop, into pop, crossover both of them. I mean,
Totally.
the only time that I actually heard a crossover, a really cool crossover, was Tim McGraw and Nelly doing Over and Over Again. That song was amazing. And it's like, to be honest, they're the ones that actually started the crossover. And it sucks because no one really gives them the credit that they deserve, because the song wasn't as popular at the time that it was done, and it didn't garner any popularity. But if you look back, that's actually the real crossover right there, was Nelly and Tim McGraw when they did Over and Over Again.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
It was an amazing song. So I mean, in my opinion, I think that definitely, that's definitely something that should be continued to keep growing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why I fell into country music, was the storytelling aspect of the songwriting. And when I started to write songs, I naturally just gravitated towards vivid imagery and telling stories, things that have happened to me and stuff. And because I loved music and connected with music that told stories that I could relate to. And I can't tell like how many times I've used music as a therapy to find a song that it matches exactly what I'm feeling. And I think that country music does a fantastic job with that. So that's why, that's the main reason why I love country music and what sets it apart so much. So I mean, I'm totally open to crossovers and would love to try experimenting with that. Also, I think that a great artist is one that continues to grow and continues to, learn new things about themselves and adapt their craft to the industry and find their niche. So that's the path that I'm on.
Nice. Well, I mean, that's good that you have that kind of an open mind for something, for something other than being caged in your own genre.
Absolutely.
I mean, you gotta be open to other possibilities, to other avenues of music, because I mean, it's all, at the end of the day, it's all one word: music.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not, country has music, rap music, pop music, and so on and so forth. They all have the same last name. Every single one of those has the same last name, which is music.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's that's the reason why it should all just be, I mean, it should just be all intermingling with one another. So integrated with one another. But that's really cool. I mean, I'm looking forward to, I'm kind of curious to see exactly where you're going to go with it. So we'll see what happens, later on in life. But besides all that, I mean, what are your plans? I mean, obviously, things are starting to reopen little by little, although unfortunately a lot of authorities are saying that there might be a second wave, with a lot of things that have been going on in the world. But if things start reopening and start leveling out, I mean, do you have any plans on concerts or touring, or what's going on with that? What's the idea with that right now?
Yeah, so I am yearning to get back out and perform as soon as possible. As soon as I get the go ahead, that is the plan. Right now, until then, I have a whole bunch of online stuff lined up. The single is also going to Canadian country radio. It actually, so I think Monday it should be officially on there. So that'll be tomorrow. Stations across Canada will have the song. And so doing some promotion with that. If COVID wasn't happening, I would be doing a little radio tour, but instead it's going to be virtual. But basically just, waiting in limbo and doing what I can until things open back up. As soon as things open back up, though, I have plans to go back to Nashville and do some more recording. And lots in the works.
Nice. Well, I mean, I look forward to hearing some more of your music for sure. And how can people stalk you on social media?
Yes, please stalk me. My Facebook is Cambree Lovesy, Instagram is Cambree Lovesy Official, and Twitter is Cambree Official. All those links are on my website, though, which is cambreemusic.com. Awesome. So you can go check it out on there. Send me a message, give me a follow, connect with me. And that'd be awesome.
Awesome, Cambree. Well, thank you so much for being on the Xander Effect. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been awesome.
Nice. Coming up next, Runaway Queen by the lovely Cambree Lovesy, right here on the Xander Effect.
She's like a train you never saw coming. She'll hit you like a bomb boom and leave you with nothing. Her smile will knock you out like Novocaine to the brain. You'll never be the same. Her eyes will strip you down right out of your blue jeans. Get under your skin, don't you know what I mean? She'll make you think you're the king of everything. Then she'll blow it all up with gasoline. You can be a fool and fall if you wanna, but if you fall now, you're gonna be a goddess. She's a slick, smooth, slide, heartbreaking machine. She's a runaway, runaway, runaway queen. You can stick around like all the others, or you can check out before you discover she's an in-and-out chick. Boy, take it from me. She's a runaway, runaway, runaway queen. She'll make you think that she's staying, but you're just another stop on the trail she's blazing. There are a string of broken hearts from east to west. What a mess. I wonder who's next. You can be a fool and fall if you wanna, but if you fall now, you're gonna be a goner. She's a slick, smooth, slide, heartbreaking machine. She's a runaway, runaway, runaway queen. You can stick around like all the others, and you can check out before you discover she's an in-and-out chick. Boy, take it from me. She's a runaway, runaway, runaway queen. Run, 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 run away. Run, 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 run away. Run, 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 run away. You can be a fool and fall if you wanna, but if you fall now, you're gonna be a goner. She's a slick, smooth, slide, heartbreaking machine. She's a runaway, runaway, runaway queen. You can stick around like all the others, and you can check out before you discover she's an in-and-out chick. Boy, take it from me. She's a runaway, runaway, runaway queen. You can be a fool and fall if you wanna, but if you fall now, you're gonna be a goner. She's a slick, smooth, slide, heartbreaking machine. She's a runaway, runaway, runaway queen. You can stick around like all the others, and you can check out before you discover she's an in-and-out chick. Boy, take it from me. She's a runaway, runaway, runaway queen.
Woo, man, is that an awesome song? That was Cambree Lovesy's Runaway Queen, and let me tell you, that will make you dance. And thanks so much, Cambree Lovesy, for being on the Xander Effect. Hopefully, we get to hear much more amazing music from you very soon and have you back on the show again as well very soon. In sports, 16 NBA players have tested positive for the coronavirus, but that's not dissuading the NBA from reopening. On the contrary, it seems that the NBA is staying positive and staying optimistic that they will be able to reopen and start practices in a bubble type of environment. And it's not dissuading them at all of the rising cases of coronavirus within NBA players. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said, quote, "My ultimate conclusion is that we can't outrun the virus and that this is what we're going to be living with for the foreseeable future, which is why we designed the campus the way we did, and so that it's a closed network, and that while it's not impairable, we are in essence protected from cases around us. At least that's the model. For those reasons, we're still very comfortable being in Orlando. So it looks like they will continue to go ahead and go forward with the schedule. They have started testing even more players. So far, via Andrew Grief on his Twitter, he went ahead and posted 302 players tested this week. 16 are positive. So that's basically what's going on right now. They still continue to make sure that everybody is trying to stay as safe as possible, even though coronavirus, numbers are starting to surge. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, they will continue to try to protect their players, and if not, we may be looking at another shutdown again. With sports, with everything actually, seeing as the cases are starting to rise more and more every day. So we'll see what happens. In other sports news, another sport that is starting to see rise in coronavirus cases is baseball. Specifically, the Texas Rangers team has had a rise in coronavirus cases, and it's making a lot of the workers terrified for their safety. A lot of the staff members of the Texas Rangers terrified for their safety. They went ahead and told ESPN that, quote, "We are terrified for our safety, terrified to share COVID-19 unknowingly with an older employee, a pregnant coworker, or anyone else who may have some sort of underlying condition. We all knew it would come to this. It was only a matter of time." And this statement comes like basically 10 days after the team entered its new phase of reopening, where employees were basically told to go work at Globe Life Field. And, they weren't explicitly mandated, but multiple employees actually told ESPN that their managers said that working from home wasn't an option. There were exceptions made for some of the employees, but not for all of them. So that's what happened. But now with these new rising cases, it seems like the team is reassessing things as far as their staff and employees go. And they went ahead and they put out a statement. They said, quote, "Over the last 48 hours, the Texas Rangers have received notification that several of our employees have received a positive test for COVID-19. The Rangers immediately began the protocols that we have in place for positive COVID tests, and any employee who had direct contact with these individuals was sent home and will undergo COVID-19 testing. No individuals will be allowed back into the facility without receiving a negative COVID-19 test. The health and safety of our employees are a top priority, and the Rangers will continue to diligently enforce the pandemic protocols that are in place for front office employees at Globe Life Field. These include temperature checks upon entering the building, mandatory wearing of face coverings, and regular sanitation and cleaning of the Globe Life Field facilities." So at this point, it seems that at least the Texas Rangers, they have noticed that the rise of cases are very dangerous to their staff, so they're taking precautions, and that's a good thing because they need to do that. I mean, without the staff, there is no team really. I mean, every person that is a part of any team is essential, for the continued operation of that team, whether it's the players or the staff members. They are essential. So I'm glad that they're at least taking care and taking precautions for everybody. In other sports news, Curtis Razor Blades decides to go off on UFC President Dana White after White had some pretty harsh words about him. And this all comes after his performance against Alexander Volkov at UFC on ESPN 11. Now, what happened here is that Blades, basically was talking a lot of trash before the fight, saying that he was going to knock him out and a bunch of other stuff. It was going to be a slaughter, whatever. And he didn't deliver. It was basically an entire wrestling match. Yes, Blades won the fight, but, a lot of fans took to Twitter and basically said that the wrestling clinic was, quote, boring. And afterward, in the post-fight press conference, Dana White said that he was disappointed. He was basically talking trash about Blade, saying that here's a guy that was pretty much talking all the smack and didn't deliver anything. And this guy thinks that he deserves, title shot or money or anything like that. It's not going to happen. Basically, Dana White was like, dude, you're not what you say you are. You don't back up what you say. Yes, you won the fight, but it wasn't anything to brag home to mom about. So Blades decided to go and say a couple words about Dana White, and he said, quote, "He doesn't like me for actually three reasons. A, I speak my mind. He doesn't like that. B, my style, what I bring to the octagon. I'm grappling heavy. And C, because I do believe I don't get paid what I'm worth, and I speak on that. So he's just using this to try to make me feel bad, I guess. So I won't speak out again. But it's not going to work. I know this is the taboo word, and we aren't supposed to speak of it, but a union. Every other major sports league has a union, so that's probably the only way we can get what we want. But I don't know how that's going to happen." So those are the words from Blades. I mean, who knows how that's going to go over with Dana White, his boss? So, I mean, there might be some backlash after that, but, only time will tell. Coming up next in video game news, Square Enix will announce several new games for July and August after a shareholders meeting. But first, here is Ian Thomas and Kross
And you're listening to Xander Dames on the Xander Effect.
That was Dovley's Being right here on the Xander Effect. In video game news, looks like Square Enix has decided to announce several games in July and August because due to the current COVID-19 crisis, E3 was canceled, and that's where they would originally announce what new games they have planned for 2020-2021. That was a lot of 20s I just said. So they went ahead after a shareholders meeting. They went ahead and they announced that basically, quote, "We would normally announce new games at E3. Yes, we had planned to have a press conference as a replacement event, but we're unable to do so since assets were not complete. We'll be announcing new titles individually as timing permits. Several will debut around July and August." So that's actually really that's good news for a lot of Square Enix players. Especially since a lot of the games that people play, for example, Final Fantasy, that comes out of Square Enix, and the last game that they had that was released really was, Final Fantasy 15. And that was the last one that they did with remakes aside, was released back in 2016, and it was right after they had released Final Fantasy 7, which was another remake, and they were all a success. Everything was great, So now people are wondering if they might come out with a Final Fantasy 16, with Square Enix wanting to make these announcements. Now, will these games come out for the new consoles? More than likely. Obviously, we have the Xbox Series X that's supposed to be out later this year, along with the PS5. So, there's a lot of high hopes that these new Square Enix games that will be out will also be a part of the new platforms as well. So we'll see what happens in July and August. That's the news in case you haven't heard it. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, we're still in the middle of a crisis. Unfortunately, numbers are starting to take a rise again. So please be safe out there. Remember to wear your masks, your gloves, your goggles if you got them when you go out. Make sure that you keep yourself safe for yourselves and for your loved ones. And as far as all these other negative things that are going on in this world, remember to try to stay together. Remember to try to be together. We are one planet. We are one Earth. We are all in this together. And remember, music always, always heals all. We'll see you next time.
Y'all. I be tell I told. Yeah, you did. They ain't believe it though. One life. Do Brown. Same game, be telling. What up? Woo! So we kick it like it's kickball. Power couple. She dripping in that Dolce Gabbana. They wanna touch her. Everybody know that's do girl. What you gonna do by it? Me and her take on the world. Now that's the truth.
Hey everyone, the Xander Effect is powered by 50/50 Global Music Inc., Sony Music, The Orchard, and BMG Bertelsmann Group, in association with Art 19 Media.